This video is aimed at teachers who want to know more about how to use the digital library in their classes. We'll be focusing on 3 different ways to include the library into your lesson. I'd like you to imagine that I'm teaching plans and arrangements to a pre-intermediate level group. I'm currently using New Cutting Edge 3rd edition, but I've decided that for the purposes of this lesson I'm going to switch to outcomes, because there is a really good listening in the outcomes that I want to use and then mine for grammar. In order to do this, I'm going to be using 2 things, Smart Notebook and the digital library. I've already opened up Smart Notebook and the digital library. So first of all, I'm going to go to the library and show you the lesson I've chosen. So the lesson is 2nd edition, pre-intermediate, and I'm looking at Unit 5. So here's our lesson. I'm going to skip a lot of this because I'm not doing sports in my lesson. So I'm going to be looking at this listening here. It's a conversation between 2 female friends who are visiting each other, talking about the plans and arrangements for the weekend. If I go to my Smart Notebook, you'll see I already have a warmer. So here's my lesson. If I go to my first slide, it's blank. My second slide is my warmer. If a friend came to visit you in Portsmouth for the weekend, what would you do with them? And then a nice picture of Portsmouth to kind of inspire the students. Once we've opened up with that, we're going to move on to do the listening. I've got 2 pictures. This is going to be the 2 friends who are going to be talking to each other. If I go back here, what I really need to do is capture this part so that I can include it into my lesson. Now, there are 3 different ways I can do this. The first is to simply click, drag a box around this, and copy like this. This doesn't always work. Oh, it's come up quite big, so I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. I can of course move different objects around if I really want to show it big to the students, but I think that should be big enough for them to see. If it isn't, if the students complain about it, then I'll simply delete the picture and fill the whole screen with this, like that. And usually they stop complaining once you do that. So some of the files will allow you to copy and paste like I did just then. All you have to do is click, select what it is that you want, right click, copy image, go back to your Smart Notebook, right click, paste. So this is my first listening task. It's a listening for gist. Which plans and arrangements for the weekend do they talk about? And those are our choices. The second listening task, it's here. I'm going to show you a different way of moving it across, because this copy and paste doesn't always work. A great tool in Smart Notebook is the camera up here at the top where it says screen capture. If I click on that, I now have a new icon. This is the capture mode. It's got 4 different cameras. I'm only ever going to use the one on the far left. If I go back to my document, here you'll see at the bottom of the screen I've got the camera. I select the camera again. I choose this. This is my camera that I want to use. The screen's gone grey. I now select the area that I want to capture. This is it. Once I let go, it's going to take the photo. Now I can do something else, or I can send it to a new page in Smart Notebook. I want to do something else. I want to send it to the clipboard so that I can copy and paste. Feel free to experiment with all the different choices you have here, but I'm going to send it to the clipboard. Then when I go back to Smart Notebook, I'm going to right click again, paste. There it is again. So now I have my second listening task, and again I can accomplish all this without the students having this textbook. They can still go through these exercises. If I wanted to give them a copy of it, I can open up Word, and then I can paste it into Word. And again, I can make it smaller or bigger depending on what I want to do with it. So now I have my listening for gist, and I have a gap fill exercise, listening for a bit more specific information. And then my final task is a post-listening speaking. So I'm going to show you a 3rd way of capturing this. What I can do is here at the bottom there's this little circle that's for Cortana, who is our little helper on Windows 10. Where it says ask me anything, I type in snipping tool. Select the snipping tool. Now the snipping tool will allow me to capture anything that I want on screen. All I have to do is press new on the snipping tool, and just like the camera, I select what I want, and suddenly it's got it saved here on the right. I'm going to right click it, copy, go to Smart Notebook and paste, and there you go. If I want to incorporate this into a Word document, I just go back to Word and paste it in here if I wanted to hand that out. But seeing as these are just speaking discussion questions, I don't really see the point in putting it in Word when I can just display it beautifully in my Smart Notebook presentation. So that's basically it. This is a really great way to capture things like pictures. If I wanted to include, for example, here, I'm not doing this lesson, but if I was doing this lesson on, I wanted to show them these beautiful color pictures, I can select it, and then I can put it in, oh, wait a second, Smart Notebook, just like that. So it's nice and big for the students to see. Okay. If you have any questions about how to copy and paste from the digital library into Smart Notebook or Word, please do not hesitate to contact either Adam G or Adam T. We are both very happy to help.